Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the, 11th of August, 2019. I had to think about that for a second. It's technically the 9th of Av, which is the Hebrew holiday.
Testified to vulnerability. And then European Jews ages 16 to 34 are more exposed to anti-Semitic harassment than her parent generation did.
Wow.
And let's see. I know it is really extreme stuff. Everyone has known that Malmo is an anti-Semitic city, but it stays there. Young Jews who choose to move from Malmo. This is a young Jew.
Who chose?
Mira Kebler. Her father fled the Holocaust with his family. So you can, if you know Swedish, you can listen to that broadcast.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty.
So when Trump said a year or two ago, what's happening in
happening
Sweden? And everybody was like, what's happening in Sweden? Well, it's a big deal. What's happening in Sweden? We're losing an entire country. If you're a globalist or someone that touts, loving the global community and you want this to happen to Sweden, then you actually don't care about the world at large.
Yeah, well, that's true. That is true. I think I had another story coming out of Sweden, but we'll have to.
We can go back to it.
We can. Don't go it alone. This is another Zero Hedge article on the same thing. All right.
It's interesting. We were talking to a young lady who came to us who's going to start her own pet sitting business.
Yeah.
In another state, and she had wanted some tips, and we talked to her for over an hour. And one of her first questions was about going on consultations, which meeting potential clients. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you just go by yourself, and she's a very small, petite person. And I just said to her, she's like, do you carry mace or, whatever? And I was like, no, but I'm a pretty intimidating person. I don't walk out into, and not even just when I'm not carrying my knife, which I'm almost always carrying it, but I don't ever go anywhere in fear. And I think it's just because of my relationship with God, how I was raised, my physical presence or whatever. But imagine living in that fear all the time. You walk out of your house. I think if I lived in Sweden, I would have that fear. Mm-hmm. Because you could be overpowered by just one person. Mm-hmm. I feel safe, I think, because of where we live and so on and so forth. But you're not always
our township
safe.
Was just deemed the third safest city township area in all of Ohio.
Yeah, we are very, very blessed. And so it's very important, I think, when we talk about these stories to really put yourself in the shoes of having to go through something like that.
Which is why I am pro Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Because it gives you that advantage that you don't have.
Right.
Otherwise, you're a sitting duck.
Yeah.
Because somebody else might have a gun or just their hands. Either way, they're going to overpower you.
Yeah.
All right. So we liked, and I really enjoy going from crazy machete raping murders to happy news. It's like this is a roller coaster ride Sunday. Sometimes it's like all sad. It's all just kind of because there's nothing good.
Technical term.
There's nothing good going on, but we're going to go into Brexit a little bit here, and there are some glimmers of hope and some interesting.
That was like a nice sound effect for your glimmer.
That really, yeah. Some interesting developments. So we want to keep covering Brexit as we should every Sunday until, All Saints Eve, All Hallows Eve, October 31st. We'll see if you leave.
Well, also, we celebrate it from the Martin Luther standpoint.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be a big day regardless. I think October is going to be big. We've got some other elections, and I'm looking to the fall. I think it's going to be
Pompeo says the U.S. will be ready on the doorstep, pen in hand, to sign a UK trade deal.
Wow.
The U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has said that America will be ready on the doorsteps, pen in hand, post Brexit. He made the comments at a press conference in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday beside the UK's Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab, who is on a 3-day tour of North America to fire up trade. The American Secretary of State said, "We support the United Kingdom's sovereign choice. However, Brexit ultimately shakes out and will be on the doorstep, pen in hand, ready to sign a new free trade agreement at the earliest possible time." You can read that.
Our enthusiasm points to an economic reality I see everywhere that I go. The United States is the best partner for trade and investment in the world. Our dynamic system of free enterprise has brought enormous prosperity, and the two countries will be able to do that together.
The U.S. Secretary's enthusiasm for a future trade deal echoed comments by the British Foreign Secretary, who remarked on President Donald Trump's warmth and enthusiasm for the UK-U.S. relationship after meeting him on Wednesday. President Trump, whose mother was British, and we talked about that. So we'll see where it goes. European partners there, so that's a good sign. I believe there was another article on, and I'll probably find it. Other countries are stepping up, saying, "Hey, we're going to be there. Just calm down." Right. I don't think I actually brought it up, but I read a little bit about. I'm not sure which country off the top of my head. Who was it? Anyway, somebody else said, "You know what? There's uncertainty in the world, but we're going to be there, and everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it." It's always nice to be on the outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so interesting. The High Court of England and Wales has rejected an Islamic State volunteer's bid to overturn a government decision to deprive him of UK citizenship. This after I read another article where somebody from Syria was given his UK citizenship back, and he went on to, commit crime. So this is a good news story. In the United Kingdom, the Secretary of State for the Home Department and the Home Office has the power to strip a person's citizenship, provided it would not render them stateless, i.e. they would still have citizenship in another country, or if he or she has reasonable grounds to believe that the person is able to become a national in another country. So the High Court has upheld a decision by former officer holder Amber Rood to use them against one of another person who came over and fought for Islamic State volunteers. The jihadist's father, Abdullah Islam, had challenged the decision to remove his 22-year-old son's citizenship on the grounds that he should face justice at the hands of the British authorities. We know he'll be out in like a year. So he's like, "Oh, really? I'd rather you face justice here." Not the Kurds who are detaining him, and to make sure there was no possibility he might face the death penalty for his crimes. The judge ruled that in Islam's case, which is reportedly a first of its kind, has no merit, and that his son was facing his current predicament entirely because of his own actions in traveling to Syria and engaging in jihad.
You don't get to go and fight for ISIS or even get trained for ISIS in another country and then come back to the UK. Right. Or the United States for that matter. Okay? It's not a thing. You don't get to go and fight for ISIS. It's a choice that you make. It's irrevocable.
Yeah. Yes. It's irrevocable. Oh, in Sweden, Muslim driver stops a bus service and refuses a woman entry for the prayer. A Muslim bus driver in Stockholm refused to let a woman board on his bus as he and another two began their prayers in the vehicle. The incident took place on Friday evening after the woman later said that she thought no one would believe her story. Oh my gosh. On Monday, local moderate party politician Christopher Thompson confirmed the story, stating on Facebook that the driver's actions were unacceptable. He stated that he had begun an investigation into the matter to seek clarification on how employees are allowed to practice their religion while on board public vehicles and the standards of transport vehicles in general. According to the news website, the woman said that she found the driver along with two boys kneeling on the seats of the bus engaging in prayer. When she attempted to board and knocked on the door of the bus, they ignored her and left her outside in the rain. I'm sure Mohammed and whoever, Allah, are really proud of you on that. I can't be near a woman, and Allah says, be in the rain. She said that while she was let on the vehicle after the trio had stopped praying, the driver became aggressive because she had disturbed him during his prayer.
Okay, so we have friends that celebrate Sabbath from Friday evening to Saturday. Mm-hmm. And they believe in the Sabbath rest very, very strongly, so as not to work on that day. That's unfortunate for them, and they have friends that own a restaurant, right? And so they literally close their restaurant from Friday evening to Saturday evening, okay? If your religion makes it so that you can't do your job, you have to find a job that allows you to do that, okay? And it's just that simple. It's different if you're talking about, you know, let's just say even wearing a hijab, right? If you're supposed to wear like, you know, some sort of uniformed hat or whatever, that doesn't actually keep you from performing your job. Okay, wear the hijab, whatever. But if it literally keeps you from allowing people on a bus, you don't own that bus, son. You got to let people on it. And if your prayer time, you've got to find a job that allows you to pray and stop what you're doing. I mean, it's just that simple.
It is that simple.
It's not even a judgmental thing. It's just, it's practical. You can't assume that people have to cater to your, you know, what if your religion says, listen, I can't work at all. You have to pay me not to work because my religion says that I can't work. Mm-hmm. I mean, right. How far does that go?
Right, exactly.
We love you guys. God loves you. And God bless. And have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.
Beginning of your week.
Bye, guys.
I was cold all alone. No place for home every day. So afraid. But you got my